morning, world. It's Friday, December 29th, 2017, and I just finished my blog called Let's Pretend That Things Are Not Ending. And I decided that I was going to make a YouTube of it and read it to you and see how this goes. So again, it's called Let's Pretend That Things Are Not Ending. Good morning, world. Do you like to pretend? And knowing you said yes, since we all pretend now and again, with the old year ending, let's pretend about some specific things. So for instance, let's pretend that things are not going to end. Let's pretend that we are not going to get hurt or sick. Let's pretend we are not going to fall for Satan's tricks. Let's pretend that nobody's going to lie or die. Let's pretend that the new year is going to be fine. Let's pretend that we are not running out of time. Let's also pretend that fairy tales are the real deal in life. Bottom line, let's pretend that we can rewind the years as we trick our mind into thinking what we want to see and feel is real. And on the days after Christmas, let's pretend you are still not conflicted over who tried to come to town and who came to reign for all eternity. That means in those wishes, as my blog is leaving the misty December days behind once again, at the end searching for a new beginning, I thought in your continuing confusion and doubt that I would do a little pretend review for you as you are still trying to figure things out. And as we're talking about pretending, we can additionally think about what we have just learned about eternity. So let's pretend it is still Christmas Eve. Yes, let's still pretend that we are merry. Let's pretend that we are still trying to recapture the feeling of Christmas as we try to remember what Christmas Day really means. And still not knowing the difference between Christmas and Christmas, let's retrace our feelings about fantasy. And let's pretend it is Christmas morning as Santa Claus with his claws has once more come to town for you and me. Naturally, as we are once again pretending many things while searching for what's right by tricking our minds, trying to make things what we want them to be, many things have been and still are changing. And since that is not the way things are at all, some of you are still really having a hard time turning loose of the Santa Claus myth. So as we pretend it is still Christmas Eve while trying to find the difference between right and wrong, between Christmas and Christmas, that will be hard for some, but not at all for you or me. Because for us, since we still have our nativities up for all to see, including the twinkling candle lights outside that are still glistening, we know the truth about Christmas Eve. But then there are others who are still only playing with their Santa dolls and make-believe. So since that's the truth and that new clue, there are still a few of you who are only embracing the Santa fantasy and turning your back on reality. There are also a few of you still pretending things in make-believe are as they should be. And living lives of fantasy, you are also trying to pretend that you are not depressed after the holiday letdown since Santa Claus never came to town. That's why a few of you never want to give up on make-believe, and that's why you are again pretending that there is a reality in fantasy. And as you close your eyes, abracadabra, a few of you are still pretending it's once again amazing Christmas time and Christmas Day. Then pretending reality is fantasy, a few of you still think, by not knowing the real reason for Christmas, that everything is still okay. Next in that dreamy statement, while retracing your steps, pretending Santa has just come to town, you are still additionally pretending that abounding fantasy is true. Of course, that should also not be a hard thing to do, because if you close your eyes, you can still see the presents lying all around underneath the Christmas stockings by the chimney's flue. In that discovery, you are also pretending again in that familiar every year scene that there are still excited children running everywhere wildly, happily, and carefree. That means with your blinders on, you're still pretending that there are not angry children searching and screaming for more presents. You are also pretending that there are not wildly upset kids running all around town who are now not happy with the broken, forgotten, discarded toys lying about that had been left behind. Then thinking some more about children, a few of you are additionally pretending that your out-of-town family has again come knocking at your door and they have not left you behind as in the days before. That means in your mind your older kids are still little young ones waking up, giving you hugs, kisses, and all you presents at Christmas time. Additionally, you're pretending there's still great food cooking on the stove and not the remnants of turkey pats and the other whole things left undigested, sneaking up from other disgusting holes while everything is passing out. And of course, you're still pretending there are sweet cookies, also cakes with goodies baking behind the oven's door, and not the extra pounds that are now registering on the bathroom scale, sitting on the floor, residing on your thighs forevermore. Of course, pretending that you can put your life in rewind. You also love pretending people are kinder then than they are now in the checkout grocery store line, therefore needing things to be sweeter all of the time. You are pretending the entire world is happier like before because it is Christmas morning, because it is still Christmas morning. Bottom line, you are still pretending time has not passed by because that's the way you want life to be, and you're pretending all that because pretending Christmas is still here is so much more fun than facing the fact that it is over and done for this year. So in Rewind, while still pretending you're fine and not running out of time while visiting a secret place found in your hiding mind, you're pretending that this is another great morning dawning because Santa Claus came to town and turned everyone's frowns upside down to a smile. But wait a minute, what if that's not true? What if fantasy does not exist for me or you? What if there is no Santa Claus? What if unsaved people who are not following the cross really are lost? What if you're going to get hurt or sick? What if you're pretending you're falling for Satan's tricks? What if, as you're pretending, you're actually falling for Satan's tricks? What if people do lie and die? What if there isn't such a thing as fantasy and reality? How will you ever get through your life? Well, those are more great questions I've asked again, because knowing things are going to end, my friend, you must start facing the fact that you need to quit pretending. That means since fantasy and Santa Claus are not real, that you really need somebody real in your life who is the real deal. That's why you really need Jesus Christ. Because to survive the dark nights and to start the new year off right, you need to be walking in the sunlight. So you need to quit chasing make-believe, and you need to see what is really there to see. Bottom line, finding the light, I will guarantee you day and night. When you start trusting Jesus Christ to make everything all right, that's when your pretending will end. Therefore, turning your back on fantasy by embracing reality, simply by trusting heaven's King forevermore to provide you with sweet eternity, that's when your end will become your beginning. Bottom line, one more time, when you find the reality in Christmas, you will no longer need to pretend that things are not ending, because in heaven, everything is always beginning. My name is Mary Joslin. I am a professional author. My author name is Joslin Fitzgerald. If you'd like to check out my website, just go to JOSLINF.com, JoslinF.com. You'll be able to see my books there, and you will be able to keep up with my other blogs. So you all have a blessed day, and thanks for listening.